What if the role you played in your family wasn't really your choice? What if it was survival? In families with a narcissistic parent, roles aren't chosen or earned, they're assigned. And understanding those roles can help you better understand your past and reclaim who you actually are. Hi, my name is Callie Sorensen. I have a master's degree in the psychology of coercive control. And today I'm going to walk you through the 5 classic narcissistic family roles and then the 5 lesser known but equally powerful ones. By the end of this video, you'll understand how narcissistic dynamics shape identity and how to start breaking free. Let's start with the 5 roles most often seen in narcissistic family systems. Number 1, the golden child. They're idealized, they're praised, they're put on a pedestal, but it comes at a cost. They're expected to be perfect, to succeed, to reflect the narcissist's ideal image. This child often feels intense pressure to perform and suppress their own identity. And if they ever begin to see the dysfunction, they often carry a lot of guilt for staying silent, for playing along, or for not knowing how to stop it. Number 2 is the scapegoat. This is the child that's blamed for everything that goes wrong. They become the emotional dumping ground of the family. If the narcissist is feeling insecure, angry, or embarrassed, they project it onto the scapegoat. Scapegoats often grow up the most self-aware. Usually they are the first ones to break the cycle because they weren't allowed to pretend that it was healthy. They didn't get to play pretend, so they learned to see what others could not. Number 3, the lost or invisible child. This child often slips through the cracks, quiet, overlooked, and emotionally neglected. They learn not to make waves, to stay out of the way. In a home full of dysfunction, invisibility can really feel like safety. They often cope by becoming hyper-independent or emotionally shut down. But beneath that self-sufficiency, there's often a deep sense of loneliness and a painful belief that their needs don't matter, or that they are unworthy of care, or that love must be earned by disappearing. Number 4, the mascot or clown. This child becomes the entertainer, using humor, charm, or playfulness to ease the tension in the room. They often develop a sharp emotional radar, sensing shifts in mood before anybody else. Laughter becomes a shield, a way to distract, to soothe, and to avoid conflict. But behind the smile, there's often anxiety, overwhelm, and a deep feeling of being unseen. Because while everybody may enjoy their lightness, few stop to ask how they are really doing. Number 5, the enabler or codependent. This role is most often played by the non-narcissistic parent or caregiver, but in some cases it can also be a child. The enabler keeps the peace. They make excuses for the narcissist, and they prioritize their needs over everybody else's. Sometimes they genuinely believe that they're helping, but their silence and complicity allows the dysfunction to thrive. Not everyone fits neatly into these 5 classic roles, so here are 5 additional roles that often go unnamed but may deeply resonate with you. Number 6, the switch child. This child is caught in a constant push and pull, praised one day and then blamed the next. Sometimes they're the golden child, sometimes a scapegoat. It all depends on the narcissist's mood and agenda, or even the behavior of the siblings. This unpredictable role reversal creates chronic confusion and instability. They learn to walk on eggshells, constantly asking, "What did I do wrong today?" And over time, it can erode their sense of identity. They struggle to trust themselves because their worth was always conditional, always shifting. Number 7, the parentified or caretaker child. This child grows up way too fast, whether it's looking after younger siblings, managing household tasks, or regulating a parent's emotions. They take on responsibilities far beyond their years. Often this happens when a parent is emotionally unavailable, overwhelmed, or neglectful. The child learns to suppress their own needs in order to keep things functioning in the home. They become the helper, the problem solver, the emotional anchor of the family. And while it may look like maturity from the outside, it's actually a survival strategy. As adults, these children often struggle with boundaries, burnout, and guilt when putting themselves first, because they were taught that their needs come last. Number 8, the surrogate spouse. In this role, the child isn't treated like a child, but like an emotional partner. The narcissistic parent may confide in them, vent about adult issues, or rely on them for support far beyond what's appropriate. This dynamic is also known as emotional incest, where no physical boundary is crossed, but emotional ones are. It may feel special. It may feel like you're the chosen one, the confidant, but it places a heavy burden on a child. Instead of being nurtured, you become the nurturer. Instead of being protected, you manage and protect the parent's emotions. As adults, surrogate spouses often struggle with blurred boundaries, enmeshment, or feeling overly responsible for other people's pain because they were never taught where they end and someone else begins. Number 9, the peacemaker or mediator. In chaotic households, this child takes on the role of emotional glue, the one who tries to hold it all together, calming tensions, smoothing over arguments, and doing whatever it takes to keep the peace. In volatile households, their mission becomes simple: don't rock the boat. They often suppress their own needs and emotions to avoid conflict or upsetting others. And as adults, they may become chronic people pleasers, over-accommodating, conflict avoidant, and deeply disconnected from their own anger and desires. They are ingrained to put everybody else first, and often don't even realize that they're doing it. Number 10, the fixer, overachiever, or hero. This child becomes the family's pride. They're the one who has it all together. Straight A's, leadership roles, awards, accomplishments. On the surface, they shine. But underneath, it's not about confidence, it's about coping. This role forms as a way to bring order to the chaos. By excelling, the child tries to stabilize the family, gain approval, or distract from the dysfunction happening behind closed doors. They believe, if I can just be perfect, maybe things will feel safe. But this pressure comes at a cost. They often grow up struggling with chronic perfectionism, self-worth tied to achievement, and an inner belief that love must be earned. Instead of feeling celebrated, they often feel like they're never enough, because no amount of success ever truly fixes the pain underneath. So what do you do with all of this information? How do you break out of these roles? Well, you start by first mapping it out. Awareness is everything. Ask yourself, what role did I play in my family growing up? What roles did my siblings play? What patterns did I absorb? Not because they were true, but because I was adapting. I was surviving. Write it all down. Let yourself see the script that you were handed. And then ask yourself, how is this role still showing up in my adult relationships or my life now? Where is it holding me back from being fully myself? Because awareness is that first step. Once you see the role, you have a choice. There's space. You can start to unhook from it. You can begin to write your own story now, based on who you actually are and not who you had to be in order to survive. And you don't have to do that alone. I offer one-on-one support to help people unlearn these roles, reconnect with their true self, and build lives based on connectedness and autonomy, not survival. And you'll find a link to book a free consultation in the description below. If this video helped you name or understand something, please like, share, and subscribe. And also drop a question or a comment below and let me know, which role did you carry and what are you ready to reclaim now? You weren't broken. You were surviving a system that didn't see you clearly, but now you see it clearly. And that means you get to choose something different. This is your permission to step out of the old role and step into the truth of who you've always been. You're not alone in this, and you don't have to stay in a story that hurt you. And if you want to go deeper, please watch my video on the 8 types of narcissism next. Not all narcissists look the same, and understanding the different forms can help you recognize patterns that you didn't even know were toxic. You'll find it linked on the screen and in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.